Our shared values are the cornerstone of the transformation movement and were one of the first things completed early on. Why establish a set of shared values? Values represent our guiding principles, our broadest motivations, influencing the attitudes we hold and how we act. Shared values bring us together. As we commit to the values and follow the values, they define how we treat one another, set the ground rules for discussion, and allow everyone to have a voice.
Well, I first heard about shared values when I was sitting with 1,400 other people in the Coronado Theater. And I remember thinking as those values were first rolled out, wow, if we as a community could just embrace these, imagine the difference it would make. And so I was really anxious to actually get involved with the shared values team. Because the reality is when we live life, we live by a set of values. And what would it be like to live in a community with a bunch of people that had a common set of values and a common set of values that were all others-centered? What would that community be like to live in there?
We have these shared values as a community that's allowing us to be the community that we want to be. And we're asking members of this family that is a community to help keep ourselves the people that we want to be.
They're happening in our community. Positive examples of our values are happening. So the question probably is, are we talking enough about them?
Inclusion is so important. I think anytime your community and anybody who lives in it, regardless of where they live or where they come from or what they look like, if they truly feel like they're a part of the process and that their voice matters, that to me is the single most important step to the whole process.
There is something about the caring value that just says to me, what if I really did go through life and I showed concern, and I not just showed concern, I was legitimately concerned about the people that I interact with, the people that live around me. How cool would that be if all of us lived and were concerned with one another? That's truly what an other-centered life is. And when you live an other-centered life, it's amazing the joy that you receive in return.
Might disagree with you, but we'll defend your right to do what you're doing, and then we'll work it out. Because I know you also respect the other views, but you're trying and you're stepping forward. I mean, this is an initiative driven to make change.
Right.
So we don't mean to be passive. So as you step forward and try to drive that change, you're trying, and that, in my view, is leadership to step forward into that void and make that effort. As long as you're oriented toward that, we'll be there to support and defend you.
My favorite quote that I've talked about often is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I don't think we can go together as a community if we don't truly embrace and live the shared values.
Because the reality is, a relationship without conflict is not a very deep relationship. And there's not actually a whole lot of trust in a relationship without conflict because it has never been tested. And for us to be able to do great things, we're going to have to test some of those things. And there will be some conflict. But that's okay if we agree to a set of guidelines or a set of values that say we're going to continue, even in our differences, to respect one another. We're going to continue, even in our differences, to act in a trustworthy manner.
We found out through the early stages of the shared values that consensus wasn't the word. That wasn't the word, and that wasn't the definition. It made people feel uncomfortable. And so consensus then changed to unity, which is really ending up to be one of the most powerful shared values and is really the ultimate goal of the whole transformation process. So yeah, we had great dialogue and discussion about those things, including everyone's ideas and input and background, and that's really what made this final product what it is today.
It is a trendy word, ideation, right? This whole idea, the thought is, right, you have ideas that are just happening. It's just normal brainstorming, right? It's normal, things are flowing. It's basically to describe a process. That's what I felt like it was a word that really said these are the ideas, and then, as you know, I think as the description talks about, how do you see it happen? How does it go from being an idea to it gets implemented, and it can be accounted for?
I really feel, I agree with you 100% that people are thinking more about their team, and I think that's where that responsibility comes into play. That I know I feel great responsibility right now to not let you guys down, and I feel like you probably have the exact same thing, and I think the community's kind of going to that point of not wanting to let the team down. That's true championship teams have great clubhouse chemistry and accountability within.
Part of the shared value of interconnectedness is that if you're volunteering in any way, you know, no matter what organization you're doing, if it's philanthropic, whether it's church, whether it's with school and you're helping, or you're just helping someone in general, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a part of an organization, you're a part of Transform Rockford. If you're moving the ball forward to make your community better for anyone, whether it's an individual or a group of individuals, you are Transform Rockford.
I think one of the greatest ways of teaching shared values is actually recognizing the values that are already at play in our community. There are amazing, beautiful things that are happening every day in this community, and I think a lot of people don't know about it.
We didn't create any of it. All of those shared values that we currently use now were already present, and they're already present in our community. It's just that by calling them out by name and by definition, it allows anybody that's on the outside looking in say, okay, well, I at least know this is true about this organization. And by stating it out loud, you are more willing to align yourself.
Well, I think as we try to get people to really embrace and live out the shared values, it's really going to be important for us to be able to put tools in their hands that can help them have discussions about it, that can help raise awareness. You know, I think stuff like this is awesome, because I just always want to encourage people. Take something like this and just put it on a wall. Put it someplace where you can see it, at your desk, at work. I don't know, you can put it in your bathroom mirror, just to remind yourself, this is how we're gonna live. So I think we're gonna have to find ways to build tools that can help families have conversations, that can help businesses have conversations, that can help students have conversations, because we got.
If it's going to take truly 2025 and beyond to get to our ultimate transformation, who are going to be the ones leading the community at that point? It's not going to be us. It's going to be the kids that are in high school, the kids that are in college right now. So it is so important to have them a part of this process.
The feeling that you're not alone.
Right.
And I think that to me is part of the next phase of shared values, is that whether you agree or disagree with a word or a phrase, or you can't connect to all of them, or you only connect to a few of them, it's really seeing yourself. I think that's a critical piece of the next phase, and I think that's where it's been from the start.
Begin adopting these things, because it will shape the culture that will actually create the success we're looking for in 2025. This is a very real and tangible way how to be part of Transform Rockford. And we just need to get about living out these values and then go make a difference in those things that we care deeply about, because they'll shape our community for good.